Hey, Mark Shepard here in the Crypto Cranker's Guide to the Bitcoin Galaxy of Greed and Grooviness. This is a little bit of, I would have to say, a freewheeling, non-linear, non-logical exploration of what the fuck is going on between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. And I'm just trying to draw some of the stuff out on my whiteboard. As I go through my day, I have an idea, I just grab it on the whiteboard. And before it fills up too much, I want to share the idea, and then I have something else that came in on the other side of this, that I have an analogy that I think might be helpful in talking about the human mind and our propensity as human beings to tear and attack each other over ideas. This happens in science, it happens in politics, it happens in education, it happens in music, it happens in every known walk of human life. And what I really think Satoshi Nakamoto was trying to do with Bitcoin is to create a money system that is actually free and fair, freedom and fairness based, to provide a level playing field for the world. And ultimately, a money system that can't be controlled by one party, that can't be manipulated or messed around with by a power elite. That was what the original intention was, okay? As far as I understand. Maybe I don't know Satoshi Nakamoto personally. Nobody does. He gifted it to the world anonymously, which I think was brilliant. He also has a lot of Bitcoin, right? So some interesting threads that I'm going to try to weave here, and this is not just for newbies. This is for anyone who wants to think more deeply about maybe more big picture stuff, and to see how the revolution is going, and are we on track, or are we basically gonna screw this up? That's kind of where I am right now, and I just want to share this. This is in no means investment advice. This in no means is me doing anything other than trying to understand this myself. So let's have a free expression of ideas in the comments below if you have thoughts, and more than that, I want feelings, because I want to see what people are feeling at this point, because I'm more interested in the psychology of this revolution and whether people are hopeful or cynical or feeling betrayed or feeling like, huh? You know, a lot of WTF moments are going on, and some stuff is beginning, the story is unfolding. And I want to kind of capture a little of that today. I'm going to try to keep this short, which is not easy for me, because I want to give you value. And once I get started, I have trouble stopping. So here we go. So Satoshi Nakamoto's gift to the world. Is it possible that something good could be sent out into the world and not destroyed by human factions, by the human tribalism? That's what I want that to be true. But here's what I'm seeing. We have Bitcoin, and evidently Bitcoin has somehow or other, because of the way it's set up, because it's the first, because the bugs and some of the sharp edges hadn't been ground off yet by actual use, Bitcoin was a little bit vulnerable to the miners becoming more powerful than the users, and the developers and the miners becoming more powerful than the users. And ultimately, those three, kind of like the United States has the judiciary, has the legislation, has, you know, the checks and balances, and the presidency, the three different things that keep each other, you know, there may be conflict, but they're designed to keep each other in in a certain level, certain parameter of equality, so that no one party can take over the system. However, the way the current system has been messed with, and I'm talking about the United States now, we have a central bank that has come in, and the central bank is a private entity, and the central bank is run by people, surprise, surprise, like the Bilderberg Group. These are the power elites, and just Google Bilderberg Group, look it up on Wikipedia and see who they are. Oh, and I forget his last name, Henri something, and I'll correct it because I just want to get the concepts. I don't give a shit about the names. So this guy Henry, we'll call him Henry. Evidently, he's the chairman, or at least on the board of AXA Insurance Company. AXA Insurance Company is a major shareholder in blockchain. Blockchain pays the Bitcoin core developers. Oh, interesting. And this guy Henry, he is the director of the Bilderberg as well as on the board of this AXA Insurance Company. Interesting connection, or merely a coincidence? Or is one of the power elite, barons and counts and old aristocratic moneyed landowning, highly educated, highly connected power brokers, the Illuminati, the elite? That's who these guys are. So how did Satoshi Nakamoto's gift to the world get taken over by these guys? And the reality with Bitcoin is slow, expensive, but it's also more than anything else, what is it? I need a different color. I want to write it in red. Valuable. Worth screwing other people over to get, or to control, or to increase in value, right? So their whole thing, and the people that love Bitcoin as it is have said, well, the transaction times and the costs are unfortunate, but look at the price, right? Now, these guys over here, kind of spearheaded by Roger Ver, are like, well, the price is good, but if it actually worked, and if it was actually decentralized, and if it was affordable and not screwed up and not limited by these guys, the Bitcoin core developers, it might be worth 10,000 already, right? So the argument seems to go back and forth. This is my perception. Again, this is what I've been gathering from weeks of listening to discussions and debates and the arguments. And I'm trying to sum it up for you guys so you don't have to spend all the time. And if you're new to this space, you can jump on it. Or if you have thought deeply about this as well, you may have some insight that I haven't picked up on, and I'd appreciate hearing that. I'm not interested in arguing about anything because I think that's being done. I want to get some big picture so that we, the small people, can make some decisions about what we support and where we put our money. Because ultimately, like, I have $500, 600 today worth of Bitcoin, but it all came in little transactions from my mining contract at Genesis. And ultimately, it would cost me more than it's worth to send it. Like, if I wanted to send $600 US dollars worth of Bitcoin to a friend, or to buy something, God forbid, it would cost me close to $500 to send all those little transactions lumped into one, because each transaction has its place in this tiny little 1 megabyte block, right? And the miners are preferring to do larger transactions, right? Like, what? Now, the attack from Bitcoin Cash is that, hey, we over here are true to Satoshi Nakamoto's vision. And he never said that the block sizes had to stay small. That was just where they started. And they had no transactions when they started. There was plenty of room on the blockchain. So these guys are saying, hey, we want a Bitcoin that actually works, and we're going to make it so good and so true to usability and its use as a currency and its decentralized development. Supposedly, they have one team called Bitcoin ABC that I know the name of, but then there's others as well. And supposedly, there's multiple development teams, right? I've heard negative things about both development teams from opposite teams, right? So there's some mud being slung back and forth. Oh, we're a better team, or those guys don't know what they're doing. That's typical technology kind of stuff. So Roger Ver, he's a libertarian. He is against central banks, and I totally agree with him in a lot of that stuff. I think we've been being fucked up the ass by the central banks and the governments of the world for centuries, and I'm tired of that shit. I want to be a free man. I want to be a man who can do what I want, when I want, where I want, how I want, anywhere in the world as a free human being, as long as I'm not harming anybody else or causing, undue trouble, right? I want to be able to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it, where I want to do it, when I want to do it, the way I want to do it, without being told by anybody how I have to behave, and B, without being extorted by governments to give them half of my money. All right? I'm totally in agreement with that. I don't think there's a person on the planet who wants to be taxed more or who wants to be a slave. But we've been made slaves. Most people aren't awake to it, but it doesn't take much to prod that sleeping lion, the lion of the majority of the people on this planet who are just trying to take care of their families, keep a roof over their head, and make sure their children have a better life than they did. And meanwhile, the government just keeps taking and taking and taking, and the US dollar and other fiat currencies become less and less and less, right? So that's Roger Ver's position. I love that. I think he's awesome. I think his heart's in the right place. I have yet to make up my mind who the good guys are here, because here's where the plot thickens in my head. A guy named Jihan Wu, I think I got his name correctly. He has a huge mining operation, plus he owns the company that makes the rigs that the miners have to have in order to mine Bitcoin. And the same rigs work to mine Bitcoin Cash. So on one hand, this guy, the miners just want to make money. They are not, the majority of them are Chinese, and they have a very clear non-interest in this kind of vision or big idea. They just want to make money. And if today there's more money to be made over at Bitcoin Cash, they just pick a button, or their rigs are already programmed to do it automatically to notice, hey, better hashing power, better returns over at Bitcoin Cash. Boom, they move their shit over, and Bitcoin Cash starts getting mined, and meanwhile Bitcoin over here just gets clogged and slower, and the transaction fees go way up. So is that just, hey, these guys are screwed because they should have improved the fucking thing like 2 fucking years ago when it started to get fucking clogged and people getting really fucking angry and da-da-da, right? Why didn't they fucking do it? Well, because they were making plenty of money and they didn't need to, right? So that pisses me off, right? Okay, and maybe you should be pissed off about that. I don't know. I think there's plenty of other things to be pissed off about. But it's fun to kind of go, what is their fucking problem? They're fucking up Bitcoin. And so, okay, you know what? These guys are trying to improve it because these guys won't cooperate. They won't do anything, right? And even though SegWit back in July was instituted so we could take some of the information off the blockchain so that the blockchains have a little bit more room, the miners, evidently very few of them have actually started doing it. Because why? It's in their best interest, right? To get high transaction fees. Who's making those fees? The miners, right? At least that's how I understand it. And again, guys, if I have something technically wrong, please correct me. I'm trying to get the big picture thing, and I'm hoping to be at least 90% accurate on some of the details. But The other thing I'm trying to demonstrate is this is what a newcomer has to understand coming into this space. And trust me, they don't. All they get is like a light switch. Is it on or is it off? Does this work or not? If it doesn't work and I lose my money, I go someplace else, right? If you can get your Bitcoin out, you know, if you can actually send it anywhere, you know, in less than 24 hours, right? Okay, so I feel cynical and I'm pissed about that because I want it to work. It's going up in value. I want to be able to invest in it. But I can't invest in stuff I don't believe in, and I don't believe in a shitty product. Because people, AOL was the first to market, but it's pretty much gone. MySpace, first to market. Before Facebook, there was MySpace. Like, it's kind of gone. And in this day and age, you don't get a second chance. You just don't get a second chance. So I don't want Bitcoin to just fall by the wayside, but at the same time, I'm in it for me. I want to grow my capital. I want to take care of me. I have a big dream that I want to take action on in my life. And if Bitcoin doesn't help me do that because it's frustrating and expensive and I'm not going to end up using it, I'm going to find something better, then that's bad news for Bitcoin, because eventually the world will wake up. It may take them a year to figure out that this is shit and it's a mirage. And there are people that have been shouting that from the beginning. And the thing is, they might be right, but not for the reasons they think. They might be right because it has been corrupted and co-opted by the same power elites that actually own the fucking central banks. Do you get this, people? Are you aware of this? This is fucking important. Every person on this planet should know this. So, the central bankers, essentially, these guys, the Bilderbergs, the Rothschilds, the old money, and on an individual level, they're probably good people. But together, they're the ones that run the world. And they think they keep the world from chaos. But the reality is they're the ones who create chaos to keep us down, to keep us poor, to keep us distracted. And frankly, if at least we can beat them on the crypto playing ground, it's just worth it. It's just worth it to see them go down at something. So, okay, so let's assume that the power elite, the people that are part of the secret Illuminati, the conspiracy theorists love to talk about, and they might actually be right on this one, because we are a power-hungry animal. Power is like a drug. And once you have it, you don't want to give it back. Just ask any president, right? Ask any monarch, right? Ask any powerful, successful business person. It's so tied up with our ego, with our psyche, with our humanity, that the question is, can the blockchain defeat it? And can the blockchain keep it defeated in the face of repeated attacks? So now, these guys kind of look like they're attacking Bitcoin. We'll call it legacy Bitcoin, original Bitcoin. It looks like they're trying to attack it and take it down so that they can take over the name Bitcoin, right? That's what they kind of wanted to do, and there was a big push this past weekend to have that happen, and I don't think these guys are done. However, the thing I don't trust, like, I kind of like Roger Ver, and I think maybe his heart's in the right place. He might be a little naive in some ways, which is okay. You know, some of us are dreamers. I'm a big fucking dreamer. I want the world to be a wonderful place. And will it ever be in my lifetime? Probably not. But I believe that together we can change the world. I wrote a song about that. Look that up on YouTube. Check it out. It's had almost, probably at this point, 1 million views. Together we could change the world. I'm a visionary, I'm a dreamer, and I'm pretty fucking naive. But at the same time, if I can support something that brings me freedom in the face of something that wants to enslave me, I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best, okay? And I may be wrong. I may be totally screwed up. But the thing that bothers me is that I kind of don't trust either one of them now. I kind of don't trust either one of them. And I want something that's better than a proof of work blockchain that is dependent on miners and is vulnerable to miners and the manufacturers of mining equipment. So, and who's to say this guy with all his money, who's to say he isn't part of the elite either? And Roger Ver, at this point, I don't know. He was one of the first investors in Bitcoin and in Bitcoin startups. So this dude is pretty fucking rich at this point. And I don't know if that corrupts somebody. I've never been fucking rich. I've never been fucking rich. But I don't know. I really don't know. I want to like him and I want to trust him. I don't know him personally. I don't know his character. But I know a lot of the people that seem to hang out with him, and I like a lot of them, and I like a lot of their character, and I like this vision. I like this libertarian vision, this positive anarchist vision of what if we actually don't need governments? What if we were able to structure our society in such a way that it was in everyone's best interest, everyone's financial interests, everyone's interest in every way to treat everyone else with respect, right? So what if it was financially against a neo-Nazi's best interest to be a neo-Nazi? I don't know. I'm just using an example. I can dream too. Have we gotten there yet? I don't know. Is it possible? I don't know. And if we give our free will over to a blockchain, is it then the blockchain that will enslave us? I don't know. These are really interesting points, people. So that's it. I just wanted to point out that it seems like there's some shenanigans going on over here. According to Roger Ver, they have multiple developers, multiple devs, which I think is good. It's also fast, and it's also cheap. And right now, I just looked at the chart before I did this video. I think it's showing a pretty good sideways channel, which you might want to consider picking some up. Just saying, I don't know. I don't own any Bitcoin Cash, and I only own about, as of today, $600 US worth of Bitcoin. And I changed my Genesis mining contract payout into Dash, because Dash can take multiple small transactions and bundle them into one transaction, and Dash is fast and cheap. And they've made even more improvements than the Bitcoin Cash people have. Because the Bitcoin Cash people have a Bitcoin that's essentially as of July 2017. Whereas Dash has been developing already for a couple years. So, and improving on the original Bitcoin. Because all these cryptos are pretty much open source hard forks of the original Bitcoin code. Some aren't, but most of them are. So, I think that's enough. I'm going to stop this video. If you guys have questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you have comments, please leave them in the comments below. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Hit that little bell, please, the little bell. So the minute I pop something up online, you can grab it and be among the first to get this groundbreaking information. And I hope you enjoy it. And I think my sense of humor is starting to come back after this craziness and the deep thinking I've been doing, trying to figure what the hell is going on. And I think that's it. Oh, if you are a man, you might want to check out my Better Man project. I'm doing a concurrent challenge with my current challenge to go deep into the crypto rabbit hole, the Bitcoin galaxy of greed and grooviness, called the Better Man Project. So check that out on my YouTube channel. And as usual, I'm a compulsive singer-songwriter, and I have 40 years of songs that I'm recording and uploading to this channel as well. And those will come in a little bit more sporadically. But every day, check me out on the Morning Cryptos. First thing in the morning, I get up and I check the charts without having looked at them before I turn on the camera. And I share that with you every day just to see what's going on, because you got to keep active in the pulse. And I think I can save you some time and hopefully keep you on track, particularly if you're young in the space, new in the crypto crankers world. So that's it for today. My name is Mark Shepard. This has been another episode of the Crypto Crankers Guide to the Bitcoin galaxy of greed and grooviness. And I wish you a safe and prosperous day. And remember to breathe. And remember to maybe go outside for a walk or something and just put everything into perspective. This too shall pass. And we will find a way to improve our future and the future of our children, and to protect this planet and our bank accounts, or our wallets. How's that? It's better. Let's get rid of the bank accounts altogether. All right. Peace, grooviness over now. I'll see you in the next one.